Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, today what we're going to do, we're going to do the inverse of a matrix. We just look at the 2 by 2 because I don't have time. And then we look at one application, which is the input-output problem. So that is our plan for today, and that will end the course. Now let's look at the inverse. How do you find the inverse of a matrix? Now this is easy because we just look at a 2 by 2 matrices. And what I did last on Monday, we already find the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix. And in fact, we did a determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. So here for a 2 by 2 matrix,
Recording in progress.
I have A, B, C, D. Then what is the inverse of the matrix? Or the determinant is AD. You multiply the terms in the principal diagonal, subtract the multiplicative of the multiplication of the terms in the other diagonal. So that would be the determinant of A. Okay, all right. So example, if I look at a 2 by 2 matrix, which is straightforward. Suppose we have A is equal to 1, 0, 1, 0, sampai 0 lah. Say 1, 5, 1, 5, 2, negative 3. This is a 5. Okay, so what is the determinant of A? Now, the determinant for a 2 by 2 matrix is simply AD minus BC. So what is it equal to? It's equal to 1 minus 3 minus 5, 2. So that will be equal to negative 13. So that is determinant. Now, for more general, okay, for more general, we write as A11, A12, A21, A22. So, for more general members or elements of the matrix A. Okay, all right. So that is the determinant. Now, what I want to do next is I want to find the inverse of a matrix. Now, how do we find inverse of a matrix? So here we are only using a 2 by 2 matrix, all right? Because we don't have time for 3 by 3. So for your final exam, you are only entitled to 2 by 2. So you don't have to worry about 3 by 3. Because I don't teach. We are out of time. So you will be accountable up to only 2 by 2. So don't worry about 3 by 3. Okay? If you want to study, you study. You study after the final exam, no? But for the final, 3 by 3, don't worry about it. I have some notes, but I don't think I will. So you only look at a 2 by 2 matrix. Now, let's say I have a 2 by 2 matrix, A equal to, I use A11, okay, A11, A12, A21, A22. Now, what is the determinant of the matrix A? No, I'm sorry, not determinant, inverse. Now, the inverse of a matrix A, 2 by 2, is denoted by A to the power of minus 1. But we don't say it A to the power of minus 1. We call it the inverse of A. So that is notation, okay? Notation for inverse of A like a power minus 1. And that will be equal to 1 over the determinant of A. All right, 1 over the determinant of A multiplied by, now the matrix A, what you do, you have to do some adjustment. You switch the elements A22 and A11. And then for A12, A21, we put negative sign. Put negative sign. Nampak tak negative sign tu? So close it. You put a negative sign on the other element. So there. So that's how you get the inverse of a 2 by 2. You just switch A11 and A22, okay? And the other you put a negative sign. And that's it, okay? So that is the inverse. Now what is the determinant of A? Determinant of A, we already know that will be what? A11, A22 minus A12 times A21. And then multiply with the A22, negative A12, A21, A11. So that was the inverse of A. Okay, correct. So it's for 2 by 2, you know, we don't use the formal method. We just use this. Actually, that comes from the other method, but we just simplify that. Now, example. Okay, finish. You done? Huh? Okay, we look at the. I have the other example. Okay, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 2, negative 3. Okay, let's go to the another example. We give another example. Let's say I have A equal to 2, 7, negative 1, 4. Right. Suppose that is the matrix A. Now find the inverse of A. So what is the inverse of A? We know the inverse of A is 1 over determinant of A multiplied by that adjusted A matrix. Okay, that will be the determinant of A. So what you do first is that get the determinant of A. What is the determinant of A? The determinant of A, as we know, is A11, A22 minus A12, A21. Or you can use ABCD pun tak apa, equal to 2, 4 minus 7, negative 1. So that will be equal to 8 plus 7, that is 15. So that is the determinant of A. No, determinant. So the inverse of A will be equal to 1 over determinant of A. Is that right? 1 over determinant of A. So I don't have to write because I already have it the other side. So we just put in the value. So 1 over 15, all right? And then you switch the terms accordingly, according to the rule. So 4, 2, negative 7, 1. And then you multiply out. Okay, this is just like a scalar multiplication. So 1 over 15 times 4, I got 4 over 15. And then negative 7 over 15, 1 over 15, 2 over 15. So that is the inverse of A. How do you check? Okay, we know the inverse of A is such that the property, you multiply by the A, what we get is I. So it's just like 1. So it's just like if you're looking at a number, let's say the number is 2, the inverse of A is what? 2 to the power of negative 1. So to the power of negative 1 is 1 over 2. 1 over 2 times 2 is equal to what? 1. So this I is just like a number 1, and you multiply the A by the inverse, you will get the identity matrix. If you multiply, you don't get I, that means something is wrong. And that is also equal to, if you multiply A on the right or A on the left, you know, you will get the same answer. So, can you multiply the matrix inverse of A with the matrix A and check, do you get I or we don't? If we don't get I, then I have to go through lah. Probably salah somewhere. Okay, check. Multiply. We should get I matrix. Okay, you got I matrix. You got the identity. Oh, anybody get I? Or you are still working on it? Dapat I? Okay, good. So you do this. You multiply A inverse with the A, you get what is the inverse? The inverse is 4/15, negative 7/15, 1/15, 2/. Okay, you multiply with the A, which was 2, 7, negative 1, 4. So multiply out je. Dah bisa ada itu pula. Dua atas lah. That, okay. So what you do, you should get 1001. So kita multiply. Okay, multiply terms by term. So 4/15 times 2. Row 1, column 1. Okay. Plus negative 7/15 times negative 1. So what do you get here? Here is 8/15. 8/15 plus 7/15. Okay, equal to 1. So you got 1. Okay, now show the work. Okay, you multiply. Jangan tu bagi answer. Kalau tu bagi answer tu salah. Alright. And then you multiply row 1 with the column number 2. What like that? I get 4/15 times 2. And then you add 7/15 times 7. Apa pula 7/15 times 7? 7/15 times 7. Betul lah. Betul. 4/15 times 2. 7/15 times, dia salah. Patutnya sini 7 tak? 7. Sebab kita multiply row 1 with the column 2. So 4/15 times 2, then negative 7/15 times 4. Check. Do we get 0 or we don't? Should be 0. Times 4. Okay. Berapa dapat? You got 8/15 minus 7 times 4. Oh, ni 7. Ni 7 ni. 4/15 times 7. Apa? 2. Okay, 4. So you got 28. Okay, so tengok tidak? Kalau saya buat 2, I got 8/15 minus 28/15. Tak dapat 0. So cek balik lah. Rupanya saya multiply dengan 2. Salah. We should multiply by the second column. That is the correct multiplication. So 28/15 minus 28/15. So I got 0. So here, 0. Okay. Now, you multiply the other terms. Do you get 0 and 1? You should. Siapa yang multiply? Anybody multiply? You got 0 and 1? Ada?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that's it. Now, I want you to do another example. Okay, I give you another question. I would like you to do. So, in the book, it's 1.4. No, I'm sorry, 3.4. So 3.4. Look at example exercise. Look at exercise. We only worry about 2 by 2. Okay. So you look at the thing here. I would like you to do question number 6. Okay. 3.4. Question number 6. So I would like you to find inverse of A. Okay, and then you multiply the inverse with the A. Do we get I? So that is to make sure you get the correct inverse. Okay, all right, good. So can you try that question number 6? So for your homework, okay, I give you right away the homework. 3.4, do some questions from number 5 up to number 10. Then you get the determinant. All right, the question asks you only to find the inverse. You have to have the determinant. To get the inverse, you get the determinant. So no problem. So find the inverse of the matrix. Don't worry about 3 by 3. Okay, all right, good. Now, we can use the inverse to solve a system of equation. Okay, so we're going to make use of that. So the inverse is used to solve a system of equations. So here, linear equation. Okay, linear. Give you a 2 by 2, 2 by 2 or 3 by 3. Let's say we look at it 2 by 2. Suppose we have A11x plus A12y equal to some constant C1. And then we have another equation C21x plus A22y equal to C2. So this is just like what you have earlier. What we have AX plus BY equal to C1. And then I have told you about C equal to H. All right, and then you got Cx plus dy equal to K. So you can use either one, all right? But I use A11 so that we know it's row 1, column 1, and things like that. Now, what we do here is I can write in matrix form. So you write this in matrix form. So you write the constants as one matrix and the variables as a matrix. So I put everything A11, A12, A21, A22. And then you have the matrix X, Y, the variables, equal to the constants on the right, C1, C2. Or you write like this or something. All right. So you have a matrix form here. This is a matrix A, 2 by 2, multiplied by the matrix of the variables X, capital X. Now, when you use that thing, you use capital. So that is equal to B. Oh, okay, salah. That is right. But now I think I will change the constant. Instead of using C, we use B. Because in the matrix form, you have AX equal to B. So kita pakai B ya. All right, sorry about that. So it's B1, B2. B1, B2. Okay, so you got AX plus B. No, AX equal B. Nice. So you have a 2 by 2 here. Okay, 2 by 2. Here is 2 by 2. I do not write. They're just telling you. 2 by 2. This is 2 by 1. That's 2 by 1. So if you look at this one, you got 2 by 2. And then here 2 by 1. So you can multiply. All right, you multiply because row, the column here equal to that row. So that's how you can write, okay, a system of equation into matrix form. So if you have a 3 by 3, 3 variables, 3 equations, we can also do that. All right, just write it here. Okay, all right. So you want to solve for the x. Okay, I want to solve for the x. How do you solve it? Okay, we use matrix form. Okay, so what you do now is that by making use of the inverse of A. So I have to find inverse of A. Okay, then what you do, you multiply the inverse of A on the left. So I got A to A inverse multiplied by A multiplied by X equal to the inverse of A times B. So you multiply here on the left. Yeah, multiply on the right. Okay, because it's just a number, it's not a number. Multiply on left. Both sides. Because if you multiply the constant with A inverse on the right, then you cannot do it both sides. Okay, multiply on the left. Okay, so what you do next is that you know that if you multiply A inverse with A, what do I get? I get I. Okay, so you multiply A with A inverse. So A inverse times A, that is equal to I times X. Equal A inverse times B. So I times X will be just X. So X is equal to what? Inverse of A times B. So to solve for the X, how do you do it? To solve for X, you find inverse of A. Okay, number 2, what do? You just multiply. Multiply A inverse with B on the left. Okay, like that. So you don't have to do what I did here. Okay, this is just to show the method. So tak payahlah buat benda ni. Okay, you don't have to multiply the A inverse with A on the left. You don't have to. Why? Because we know that it's going to equal I. So what you do only is multiply A inverse with the B on the left. All right? Okay, so you got the solution. So that is the method. Okay, all right. So that kind of question, we look at the book. For 3.1 tadi, I give you already some questions kan? 3.4, I give you already questions. These are the inverse. So now, I give you a question to get the system of equation. From the system of equation, you write in matrix form, and then you can solve for X. So I give you a few more questions. That will be number 30 to 52. Okay, so this is about getting the inverse, and then do the multiplication with matrix B. All right. So I do number 29. I don't do everything. We just write in matrix form. So you have here 29a plus 2y plus 2y equal to 4 and all the things. So in matrix form, it's ax equal b. All right. So you write the constants, the coefficient, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Then you multiply with what? X, y equal to the constants on the left, 4, 10. So that's the matrix form of the linear functions. Okay? Then you use that method, get the inverse, okay, and then multiply with the b. Okay, all right. So I give you a few questions, you practice. So I think the method is quite straightforward. Okay, any questions? All right, good. So now what I want to do, we're going to look at the application. The application of this one, what you call the input-output problem. Input-output is 3.5. So we just look at one application, 3.5, yeah, 3.5. So 3.5, you look at the problem. This is called the input-output model. The input-output problem, the model. So what is it about? Okay, this is about the macro. This is a macroeconomy application, macroeconomic. Now you consider the economy. We have an economy of our country, any country that you come from, you can consider. That economy consists of what? You can break up the economy consists of many sectors. Okay, many sectors in the economy. If you have read some of the publication, the book, report, give me one sector of the economy. Apa deh? Because there are so many industries, there are so many firms, producers, so many products in the world or in our economy. Now, they normally combine it into a sector. Now, give me one sector. Apa deh? Anybody?
Pertanian.
Pertanian. Okay, pertanian in bahasa Inggeris mana? Agriculture. Okay. Kita dalam kelas ni cakap putih lah. Dia cakap Melayu, dia tiap hari cakap. Okay. So this 1 hour and 15 minutes, we speak English. Melayu kita ada terror. Taklah terror. Kadang-kadang kita cakap dia terror kan. Kalau ambil test bahasa Melayu lingkup kau. Because kita cakap style kampung. Bukan cakap standard. Okay, agriculture. Okay, lagi satu sektor apa? Agriculture. What else?
Manufacturing.
Manufacturing. Okay, good. So you have these two sectors, and you can also have probably services. Okay, but okay, this is services. Now you have this manufacturing, agriculture, services. These are the sectors in the economy. Normally, these are the big sectors. I mean the general sectors, and of course you can break out lagi lah. All right. Now these sectors of the economy, they produce output. Okay, they produce outputs or services. So these sectors, or sometimes the industry. So this output of these industries or sectors, okay, output produced from in each of the sector, or industry. What is it used for? Where does it go to? The output produced by agriculture pergi ke mana? The output produced by manufacturing, mana pergi? Okay, so output produced in each of the sector, where does it go to?
Consumer.
Go to the consumers. Okay, go to the consumers. Will be consumed by consumers. all right, will be consumed by consumers. Consumed by consumers. Now, what are the other, where does it go to? Other than going to the consumers. Now, when you say consumed by consumers, will be final consumption. There will be no more sale. Okay? Dia tak jual dah. Habis tu, makan tu, guna. Okay? Final consumption means there will be no more selling. Okay? There will be no selling. Let's say the consumers buy rice, bring home, cook rice, eat. That's it. Okay? You don't sell the rice anymore. Or in terms of rice, or some product out of the rice. Okay, that is called final consumption. Or if you look at the book, they call it surplus. Sometimes they call it surplus or excess demand. There are a few words. Excess demand, they all mean the same thing. Excess demand, surplus, final consumption. Okay, I think the book used surplus, final excess demand. Tengok. Final demand. Okay, final demand, surplus. Final demand. So that's the word they use. Final demand. Okay. Other than that, where does it go to? The output from because they, in our economy, output from agriculture, they are like billions, millions of dollars, So apa tadi? Final demand. Okay, final demand. All right, what are the other uses? Is there any other use? Other than you buy, eat, consume.
Thesis.
Okay, for example, suppose the rice, okay? The rice, you buy rice, you bring home, you cook. Okay, what are the who are using that rice? Or what are the other users of rice other than you bring home, pasok, cook? Are there any other?
Restaurant.
What?
For restaurant.
For restaurant. Okay, so the rice the restaurant bought it. They use what? They use as input. Okay, they use as input to produce other outputs. Okay, so some shops, they bought the rice, they use as input to produce cake, to produce nasi ayam, okay, to produce nasi biryani, okay. So they are produced as input. So there are two major usage. One is the final demand, which is consumed, okay, there is no more reselling. Others, they will be reselling, okay, they'll be reselling here. But they don't sell rice. Sometimes they just sell the rice. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about what? As inputs, will be used as input to produce other goods, all right? Other goods. So we can say that the amount that is produced, okay, the amount that is produced by the industry, by one industry, where does it go to? Will be used to what? Used as inputs, okay, in other industries, in other sectors or industries, including itself, okay, including itself, plus the final demand or surplus. Okay, final demand. I use the terms used in the book. Final demand or surplus. So produce in an industry, or sector will be used as input, produced as in the other industry. All right. Okay. So let us say three sectors. Okay, the three sectors that we're looking at. So let's say the total output produced by each of the sector, we call it X. X1, saya ingat macam ni. I don't have that much time. So what I do, we consider only two sectors, all right? We consider only two sectors because we are looking at by two. So service ni kita buang. Okay. So you have a sector X and output in sector agriculture, we call it X. Yang Y, manufacturing, Y. So total output in the sectors, you call it X, Y. Okay. All right. So X equal to what? Equal to the total output produced in the industry X, manufacturing. Okay, manufacturing will be equal to some amount that is going to be used as input to produce other input. Ini matrix form nih. The matrix form. We are talking about not matrix. So X equal to A11 X plus A12 Y plus D1. And then the amount, quantity produced by the agriculture, terbalik kot, tak apalah, you switch. Okay, agriculture, some proportion will be used to produce more manufacturing, and some be used to produce more agriculture, plus D2. So D2 ni final surplus lah. Okay, D1, D2, final surplus. Okay, all right. Now we write in matrix form. So XY ni is a matrix XY. That is equal to, I think what we do, the book use X1, X2. Apalah, kita pakai XY. Okay, XY. Then the matrix of the coefficients A11, A12, A21, A22. Ni A22 ni, salah. A22 multiplied to XY equal to, not equal, plus D1, D. So here, this is quantity produced in one industry. Okay, X in each of the industry. The use as input in other industries, including itself, this part. Okay, D1, D2 ni final demand. So that is how, okay, output produced in each industry is going to be used in other industries as inputs and final consumption. So you have the matrix form X equal to AX plus D. Okay, you finished? You done? So now you write the matrix form. All right, so XY is the matrix X for the quantity of the industries. So in matrix form, that will to X. X ni XY lah. Okay, so the one here is X. Equal to A. Matrix constant to multiplied by what? X plus D. So I write it more clearly. AX plus D. So that is in matrix form. So simplify that a little bit. Okay. What do we get? We get the following. You bring the AX to the left. So we got X minus A X equal B. You factor out the X. I got I minus A X equal D. All right. So what you need to solve? I need to solve for the X. Okay, I want to find the quantities of each industry to produce to satisfy the use and the final demand. All right. So I want to solve for X. So what do? I need to find I minus A inverse. All right. Because what I need is that I need X equal to I minus A inverse multiplied with the D. Okay. So I need to find I minus A inverse. And then number two, I just rewrite. Then X will be equal to the terms I already wrote there. So X is equal to the inverse of I minus A times D. Then you will get there. Okay. So now we make use of the inverse, but not inverse of A. It's the inverse of what? Inverse of I minus A. Okay. Inverse I minus A. So that is the method in order for you to find the quantities of the output in each industry or sector in order to satisfy the demand in the economy. Okay. All right. Any question? Make sure we are clear on this. All right. We're clear on this. Okay. So let's consider an example. All right. I'll give you an example. Let's say, okay, our industry consists of agriculture and two sectors, okay, manufacturing and agriculture, all right? And let's say X is manufacturing, Y is agriculture. So suppose we are given X equal to 0.3X plus 0.1 Y plus 60. And then I got Y equal to 0.1X plus 0.2 Y plus 50. Okay, all right. In matrix form, will be X equal to what? 0.3, 0.1, 0.1, 0.2 multiplied by X, Y plus 60, 50. Okay, now I want to talk about that matrix A. Now that matrix A is called technology matrix. So if you are given technology matrix, what is it? That is the matrix A. Okay, the input requirement. Okay, now what does it mean? What does it mean? The coefficient. The coefficient of this or the values of this thing. What does it mean? Okay, now we are going to look at what is the meaning of it. So here, okay, 0.3, 0.1, 0.1, 0.2. What is it? It's a per unit ratio. Okay, so if you look at the matrix A, we look at A11, A12, A21, A22. All right. Now this A small element here, what is it? It's per unit ratio. Okay, per unit ratio of whatever is per unit. Is in terms of per unit. All right. So in other words, if you look at A11 is 0.3. Okay, A11 equal to 0.3. What does it mean? It means that to produce, okay, to produce 1 unit of what? Of manufacturing output. Okay, manufacturing output, you need what? We need 0.3 units of manufacturing output. Okay, and then 8 to 1, 0 equal to 0.1. Okay, 0.1. What does it mean? It means to produce 1 unit. Okay, to produce 1 unit of manufacturing output. Okay, how much do I need? We need 0.1 unit output of what? Of the agriculture sector. Okay, so if you go by what I just say, that is the input requirement. All right, input requirement. So the column, okay, so the column here, how we read it, this is per unit input requirement. So by the column, all right, so the column, we know the column is what? If you look at the thing, the column is the manufacturing. Okay, so PD manufacturing. So here is manufacturing. Okay, so and here agriculture. Right? How do you know? We know from how you develop the question. All right, so you have X equal to X and Y. So this is X. Okay, this is X. X and X. So this is manufacturing. Okay, and this one is Y. So this is agriculture. Now, how do you interpret the value of the number? So the numbers indicate what? Per unit input requirement. So in terms of the columns, it's what? Per unit input. Okay, so what do we mean? Okay, what do I mean? If you go by the first column that is on the manufacturing, we say what? I want to produce 1 unit of manufacturing output. What do we need? I need 0.3, which is the first number. 0.3 units of what? Of manufacturing. And then the second value, what does it mean? It means to produce 1 unit of manufacturing. How much of agriculture I need? 0.1 unit of agriculture output. Okay. And then if I look at the second column, that is per unit input usage of 1 unit agriculture. So A12, what does it mean? A12 meaning, A12 is to produce what? 1 unit of agriculture output. What do we need? We need 0.1 unit of what? Of manufacturing output. Okay, and A22 is to produce 1 unit of agriculture. I need what? 0. Berapa tadi? 0. Go back to the metric. 0.2. So I need 0.2 unit of the agriculture output. So that is per unit requirement to produce 1 unit. So to produce 1 unit of agriculture output, I need 0.1 unit of manufacturing output. Okay, so that is for 1 unit. If I want to produce, so sometimes they may ask you, what about if I want to produce 1,000 units? Okay, 1,000 units of agriculture output. Then how much of the agriculture, how much of manufacturing I need? How much of manufacturing output do we need? How much do we need? 1,000. So you know is if 1 unit, you need 0.1. If it is 1,000, then how many units do I need? 100 lah. Okay. So I need 100. You multiply by 1,000. Okay. So you multiply by 1,000 because here is 1 unit requirement. So if I want to produce 100, you multiply by 100. If I want to use, I want to make 1 million, then multiply 1 million. Okay. All right. So that is the meaning of the coefficient in the technology matrix. Okay. All right. So I think in 3.5, it is clearly discussed. Right? If you look at the example, they clearly discuss about this. So you read. Okay, any question? All right. So that is the column. Okay, the column of the matrix. That's what it means. Input requirement. Okay, input requirement. So I have the matrix here. X equal to everything like that. So now what you can do, I want to solve the problem. Okay, I want to find X. So remember, the solution is you want to find I minus A inverse. Okay, and then you multiply with the D, you will get the solution. All right. So I want you to get the matrix I minus A. Okay, find the matrix I minus A. Okay, first you need to I minus A, because to solve the solution, or to solve the problem, you need what? I minus A inverse, multiply to the D. Okay, so get that. I minus A inverse. Okay, got it. So you get I minus A inverse. What do we get? So I minus A is equal to 1, 0, 0, 1. Subtract the A matrix, which is 0 0.3, 0 0.1, 0 0.1, 0 0.2. And what is it equal to? Okay, just subtract. Okay, you got 0 0.7. And then 0 minus 0 0.1, negative 0 0.1. And then negative 0 0.1. And then you got 0 0.8. So that is the matrix that we need to get the inverse of. So I minus A inverse is equal to what? Is equal to, you know the formula. Formula is what? A inverse in general will be what? 1 over the determinant of A multiplied by the one that you make the adjustment of. All right? So you got to get the determinant of this matrix. So it will be equal to 1 divided by what? 0 0.7, 0 0.8 minus negative 0 0.1, negative 0 0.1. Multiply with, make the change. So 0 0.8, 0 0.7. Here becomes negative. So that's it. Okay. All right. Now you multiply that thing. What do you get? You multiply 0 0.7, 0 0.8. Berapa dapat? 0.56. 56 kan? 54, 56. Lepas tu kalau 0.01. Okay, berapa dapat? So 0.7 multiplied 0.8, 0.56. Lepas tu 0.1 multiplied by 0.1, you got 0.001. So negative become positive, so minus lah. So 0.56 minus 0.1, that will be 1.1 divided by 0.55 kan? 55. Okay, multiplied by that thing here. So multiply out, we will get 0.8 divided by 0.55. 0.1 divided by 0.55. 0.1 divided by 0.55. 0.7 divided by 0.55. Okay, is that right? So kita multiply lah dengan apa nama tu? D. So you know the X, okay? X is equal to, you multiply that inverse here, okay? The matrix that you got the inverse, I don't write because it consists of many terms. Multiply to the D matrix, the final demand. And the final demand was 6050. Dapat answer. Okay, finish it up. We already calculate up to here. You know, you can convert to decimal points for easier calculation. So, bila tu dulu tengok berapa dapat. Okay, got it. What is the value of X? I mean the product matrix. Berapa dapat? Okay, anybody got? Okay, cepat. I got already my answer. What do you get? Cepat, somebody tell me. What do you get for the first value? Berapa dapat? 96. Okay, 96.36. Okay, second one?
74.
54, what? Oh, 55. 54. 54, 55. 554. Calculator saya 54. Tak apalah, 55, 54. Tak apa, adik-adik. Okay, so you got that value. Now, what is the value? What does it mean? It means that this is the total output. that you need to produce from each sector or industry to satisfy the demand. Okay, so to satisfy the demand, okay, the demand here means the usage of the usage by other industry plus the surplus, the excess demand. You need to produce how much? Need to produce 96 units of 96.36 units or whatever the unit may be, tons or kilogram of manufacturing output. And 74.54 or 55 units. Okay, I forgot to put the word unit here. So put units of agriculture output. So that is the meaning of the our answer. Okay, that is the quantity or the amount of X and Y, whatever they are, to produce to satisfy the demand of the economy. Okay, all right. Any question? All right. Now, that's it. Okay, we are done with the matrices. So application that I do is only the input output. So you don't have to worry about the application of other parts. Addition, multiplication, you can read, all right? But I will not ask that thing in the test. So that will be on the matrix, not matrix, matrix. So on 3.5, on this application, I would like you to do a few questions. Actually, questions are quite straightforward. So 3.5, you try to number 11. Apa yang 11? Banyak sangat pula kena bagi. Okay, you do number 12 up to number 15. Okay, and number 19. Okay, number 19 ni important tau. Cuba buat ni. Because here you are required to get the matrix A. It's not given, okay? So you have to get A. So in order to get the A, okay, in order to get the A, you have to understand tadilah the input, the matrix, the what do you call it? I have to understand this matrix. Okay, so you go by the column. All right, you go by the column because it's input requirement. So per unit usage, so it require, if I want to produce 1 unit of manufacturing, then what are the ratio of the other industries? Then you go by the column. Okay, you like that. So I want you to try question 19. If you have any problem with that matrix A, okay, we will discuss in WhatsApp. All right. So I want you to do that. Is very important to be able to get the matrix. So everybody try and make sure it's correct. And if you're not sure, you can ask me. Okay, we have a lot of time. You can ask in WhatsApp. Don't ask me in my phone number because a question, related to the course, you put in the group so that I benefit, you benefit, and everybody else benefit. So share, okay? If you ask me personally, don't, okay? Because I will ask you to put it back into the group. All right, okay, good. Now, there is one last thing that I need to talk about. The one that is on the text. I didn't cover that thing, but I did ask one question, for one of the group, but it's not your group, it's the other group. I need to talk about the tax, okay? Tax on the market. This is on the linear function. You go back to the linear function. So chapter number 1, 1.6. Okay, there is a last part over there that is on the tax. Okay, all right. So how do you impose a tax? The tax is imposed, say by a certain amount. All right. So if you impose a tax, say T, okay. So if the tax is imposed, then what happens? The price will increase. Okay, price will be increased. So here is shown by what? By the supply function. So when the tax is imposed, it will go to the supply function, to the firm. Okay, and the firm will increase the price. So if you look at the supply function is what? Supply function P equal to, say, F of Q. And then the demand is P equal to G of Q. So when the tax is imposed, then our supply become S1, okay, S1 P now equal to F of Q plus the T, okay, plus the tax. So the tax will just increase the price. If you look at the graph, Q, P. So make sure the function P in terms of Q, so that you can do this. So you have the supply function here, the demand function going like that. So by imposing the tax, the supply function will shift upward because the price is higher. So that is S1. Okay. So the tax will be the price. All right. Okay. So you look at the page 108, they have a discussion. So the most important part is to put in to incorporate the tax into the supply function. And then you solve it macam biasa lah. All right. So example. Suppose I got the S, all right, equal to 3Q plus 500. And the demand, say, equal to here, P equal. Don't forget that price. Demand equal to negative 4.5Q plus 5,000. Okay, suppose it's like that. All right. So here, say tax equal to 45 RM imports. So impose on the supply. Okay. So therefore, our supply function will increase by what? By that amount. So therefore, our supply function becomes what? P equal to 3Q plus 500. That is the old supply. Now you have to plus the tax. Okay, so 45. So what you do is we use this principle here. Yani, okay, FQ plus T. So add, yeah. But make sure the function is P function of Q. Kalau Q function of P, you have to rewrite. So that will be equal to what? That will be equal to 3Q plus 545. So our new model or our new supply function will be this one. The demand does not change. So you can still work out the equilibrium. Okay, so there will be two equilibrium. One is the one without the tax, the original part, which is this one. Okay, the second after the tax. So you can find both. All right. So for this example, cari lah. Okay. So I give you homework. Find equilibrium before the tax. That means before I put in the tax, and then you find equilibrium after tax. Then you can see how much is the price increase, all right? And how much is the equilibrium quantity decrease. Okay, all right. So for that part, I would like you to give. I would like you to do some one or two questions. Like that. text. So 1.6 for the text, I would like you to do question number 55. Okay, 55, 56. Correct? Okay, 55, 56. Okay, any question? Anything? So that's it. Okay, we're done. I think I cover most of the things that you need to cover. That will be sufficient for the exam. Okay, anything that you want to ask about this? Okay, all right. Okay, now I have a few more minutes. I would like to talk about the final exam. Okay, final exam. Final exam, as I mentioned to you earlier, it's comprehensive. Okay, comprehensive exam. That means what? That means we'll cover everything from the beginning to the end. All right. Okay, and there are options given. Okay, in the final, I'll give you option. So that is, of course, to help people, you know, to improve or to get more marks. So I think you're given 5 questions, you answer only 4. So that can help a little bit, right? But sometimes it doesn't necessarily help. But we give you the option. Okay, so the coverage will be from the beginning up to the end. And then I give you one choice. Okay, one question, 5 questions, you answer 4. Okay, all right. Now regarding camp, not camp lah. The camp I will post it to you in the WhatsApp group. Now regarding your homework, mostly homework lah. You know, quiz, or quiz, midterm, whatever. Now, if you submit late, okay, some people submit late. Even homework number 2 pun submit late. Now, if you submit late, that will not be graded. So if you get 0 for anything that you submitted, that means what? That means you are late. Okay, so if you late, that is only for your practice. Okay, ni sampai 2 hari lambat ni apa hal? Okay, so late, I will not grade. Okay, we have to have the deadline. So if you got 0 for your homework, don't ask me. Okay, don't ask me. Okay, why? Because you are late or you didn't submit at all. You didn't submit to me, you must tahu lah. Okay, you tahu lah because you didn't submit. But if you submitted late, I will not grade. Okay, so you get 0. So don't be surprised. Okay, don't be surprised if you get 0 because you submitted late. Okay, all right. And then the camp I will post to you, you know, within these few days lah. You know, I got to record that in paper dulu, betul in the computer, and then okay, all right. So if you don't have anything to ask or any comment, I think I will stop here, and I will see you if you have anything to discuss. Okay.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
If you have anything to discuss, you bring up in the WhatsApp. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, kejap. My battery is out. Battery saya dah habis rupanya. Kejap. I got to sambung dulu. Power. Sambung dulu tadi. Patut komputer gelap. Okay. Okay, I heard somebody. Okay, what was it?
Sir,
Yes.
my group member submitted on time, but I for I clicked the done button lately. So if that counts,
Now, if it is a group assignment, then if your friend submitted, you don't have to submit. Okay?
oh,
I told
I
you
didn't-
already. Okay, I
I
told you
didn't
already.
submit, sir. But
Ah. So
there
if
is
it is a
done
group
button.
assignment, you don't have to submit. If your friend already submitted, you don't have to submit. Okay, if you submit, then you submit late. So that's the problem. But anyhow, if it is a group assignment, I will consider the group, the submission, the first submission. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Don't create a problem, don't create unnecessary problem. I said group homework, only 1% submitted. Patutlah lambat, But if you want to submit, don't submit late. Okay? If you want to submit also, but don't submit. I already told you. That means you ni selalu tak datang kelas ke? I think you are the one who like to be absent because you don't know what's going on. Okay? I already informed you in the class. Group homework, 1% submit, your friend or you. All right? You don't have to submit if your friend submitted. And if you have submitted, your friend don't have to submit. That is the group homework. Man, you still don't know. Problem. So how many? Okay, any other things? Okay, so I will stop here. I will see you again. Okay, I see you again. If you have anything, you just post in the WhatsApp. Other than that, I will see you in the final exam. Okay, so have a nice time studying. Have a nice weekend. I'll see you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.